We got Matt Kim for the Matt Kim podcast. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, happy to be here.
Have you always been conservative? What red pilled you?
I remember my father when I was young. I say, "Why are we Republican?" And he says, "Because we don't like to pay a lot of taxes." I said, "Fair. That makes a lot of sense. I can totally get behind that."
There was a campaign going on. It was like Stop the Asian Hate. I didn't realize what was going on, but it turns out it was a bunch of black people.
Everyone want to talk about Stop Asian Hate because this was right after BLM. So everyone wanted to be the identity politics. And then they realized there was a bunch of black people in democratic cities doing all the violence. They're like, "Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. Nothing to say here. We're good."
Like I said, your podcast blown up. You interviewed Andrew Tate. How did that go?
Sketchy. Because I went to Romania for it. And going to Romania,
I was supposed to go out there too.
It's wild.
I'm scared I'm going to get arrested.
Dude, when I went out there, I'm at a restaurant and like these random cops are walking by and they look like cops. They look like undercover cops walking by and back and forth and looking at me and looking at me. I'm looking at me like, all right, this don't feel good. I don't want to get in trouble in Romania.
Who's this Asian guy?
You know, like this random Asian guy in the middle of Romania.
Right.
I stick out like a sore thumb.
Right.
You know?
What do you feel about what's going on in Israel?
How come I can criticize black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, gay people, trans people, everyone?
Right.
But if I say something about Jewish people, then they're going to cancel me. And I got all these letters from Jewish fraternities saying that they're going to sue me for defamation.
Really? Are you bullshitting?
I was like, this is proving the point, isn't it?
What did you say?
I just told you what I said.
That is crazy. We got Matt Kim for the Matt Kim podcast. How you doing, brother?
Yeah. Happy to be here.
Thank you for coming. So, where are you from originally?
Originally, that's like such a weird question. You know, like every time an Asian guy walks in, you got to ask him, like, where are you from? What does that even mean?
Well, I want to know your background. I don't know
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We tried to Wikipedia. I couldn't find shit on you.
Oh, bro. Hell no. I live in Atlanta. My family's from Korea. And then you got
a nephew
North
Korea.
North Korea, South Korea, and then South Korea.
Okay. So you're from South Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got family that used to live out there. My older brother's in the Army. He had a son. He's got a son and a daughter. Korean. Yeah. He married a Korean. Yeah, Korean. What's Korea like? South Korea.
South Korea is interesting. It's kind of like, I'm going to say people think that they know Korea because they watch a lot of Korean dramas these days. K-pop is really popular. But the reality is that it's like saying I know Korea because I know California because I know LA. It's not really like that, right? Seoul it's like 2 square miles is the entire wealth of entire Korea. 80% of all the GDP comes from 4 companies. And it's like a really globalist type of place, which is kind of weird and scary.
Oh, yeah.
So it's surveillance everywhere. Everything's technology. Everyone's on their phones. Everything is kind of monitored.
Having like a social credit score? Or?
Not really yet. But, I mean, I think
bet
we
your
all
crime
have
is low.
Crime is low.
That's a good thing.
Crime is low. Well, there's no
You
guns.
see what freedom does here in the freaking USA.
There's no guns in Korea.
Yeah. Oh,
So
okay.
cops don't have guns either, which is interesting.
They know that damn karate, right? Hey, so what do you so do you think that's a positive thing when there's no guns in society, or
No. Like, you need to be able to protect yourself because no one respects cops because they have no power. So if the cops show up, then people get drunk, yelling at the cops, cause a problem because no one respects cops because what are you going to do? Like, what are they going to slap you? Or are you going to slap them back?
so they don't
run
care,
away.
What do they care for protection, like mace or stick?
You just got to figure it out.
Oh,
Yeah. The legal system in Korea is interesting because say we're going to fight and the cops get involved. I can offer to pay you money and we can settle out of court and the cops will drop the case.
really?
So if we make an agreement, so they say that they were going to prosecute you for hitting me or whatever it is. I can offer to do a settlement, pay you out of pocket, and then the whole entire thing goes away. It's actually not the worst way to do it.
Yeah, it actually sounds a great way to do things because look at here, like you see all these people in jail, and a lot of people here in jail in prison for like minor shit, like weed, and it's like that's very bad. And it sounds like in Korea you got a much better system other than the system y'all have on weapons and guns and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, here in the United States, if we were getting in a fight and the cops decide they want to prosecute and you get into the justice system, it doesn't matter that we figured it out. It doesn't matter that we've decided, we're good, we're okay. Like I don't want to prosecute anymore. The cops and the justice system has taken over, and you actually have no say in the matter. So maybe we're neighbors, and we get in a fight and we get in an argument, and we punch each other, and all of a sudden, it doesn't matter anymore that we figured it out.
Here in America, once it gets to the prosecutor, he's thinking about whether he can convict or not, and to build his his score up.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a positive to me.
Yeah.
When comparing, I mean, I'm a big advocate for Second Amendment, but we having too many people dying in our schools. That's a huge. Well, yeah. I mean, they're not doing anything about it in the schools. It's like it's like they want it to happen. Right. Yeah, they can legislate laws. What do you think about the problem in schools with the guns? I think if they want, like, you go through TSA. I mean, they protect you at the airport, but they don't protect the kids in school. There's no system. And nobody's willing to do anything about it. Because right now I'm homeschooling my daughter, and I'm thinking about, because of what happened in Texas, everybody's just standing around not doing anything. So I'm thinking about taking my son out of school and homeschooling him.
Well, I think that's the best way to do it. I mean, my daughter is 2 years old. I don't have a huge desire to send them to government school.
Right.
Because they don't teach you anything.
They don't.
You can teach them whatever you want by yourself. They only study for a few hours a day at best.
Right.
And all you're teaching them is to be compliant. And you want your kids to be critical thinkers.
Yeah.
And that's what society is losing. Especially when you go to school shootings, it's not because the guns, I don't think. I think it's that, kids are being raised by technology, being raised by social media, being raised by video games. And then they're messing with their minds. They don't have a sense of reality. They don't know what's real, what's wrong, what's right. We lack a core sense of values that we are all supposed to share. And I think that's the biggest problem of it.
Yeah. So this story that broke, I'm still getting the details on it with Tenet Media. That is crazy.
Crazy.
That is insane.
Crazy.
First of all, it's almost unbelievable. I'm like, come on. When I first saw this, because I have the CNN app, I watch a bunch of different news sources, and it came up. I was like, oh man, this is bogus.
Yeah.
I know those guys. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and then you're like, huh.
And so then I started digging. So I want to get your perspective on it, if you had any inside knowledge on it.
I mean, I don't have any inside knowledge. I just read the indictment. I think a lot of people have
you read the
ability
indictment. Okay.
I read the entire indictment.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, they're getting set up. This is not right.
Right.
And then you read it and you're like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? They were talking to them a lot. And maybe they were set up. And maybe they didn't know. But they were still taking the money. And that's the hardest part, right?
Yeah. I have a lot of respect for those people. I was like, come on, man. You guys are smart and bright. Yeah. You
They're getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah. How much money was it?
Like $400,000 a month for one episode a week. That's a lot of damn money.
$400,000 a month.
Hey, hit me up. Russia, hit me up. Let me know.
They must be
$400,000 a month.
They must be racist because they didn't hit us up.
No? You didn't get the call?
I didn't get the call.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah. Actually, when I heard the story, I was like pissed. I was like, they didn't contact me. That's a lot of money.
$400,000 a month.
Yeah,
for one episode a week.
Yeah, and all they had to do was release it.
Yeah,
I think it's what is it called? Farsa. Some document just have to file. Yeah, just make it known you're working with a foreign entity. Right. That's what's making it illegal because they didn't register.
I mean, think about how many people out there take foreign money to do their shows. It's almost everybody at this point. You either take money from Israel, you take money from China, you take money from everybody, but all of a sudden this one's a big problem.
Right.
That's
because they're conservative.
Exactly.
That's what I think. Yeah.
And the biggest part is that how do they get all this information from the people? That's what I found most concerning. Right. Because you go through an indictment, they're like, we found the information and we saw the communications through the Google searches. We saw the information through their emails, through their Discord private messages.
Oh, wow.
They didn't know they were being investigated.
It sounds like a psyop to me.
They totally just went into all their systems, got this information, and because of you have that section 702, which means you're talking to a foreign entity or a foreign conversation, then now the government can legally track your communications, and not only your communications, but the communications of the people that you've been talking to. So if you've ever talked to any of those guys, they have those communications.
Right.
So now,
shit.
Yeah.
I don't talk to them.
They have on record everyone in conservative media, they have all the communications. And I think that's why people are really worried right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if Kamala wins, I think they are going to go through all the records. Like, oh, yeah, that was, they were knowingly spreading misinformation. They were knowingly spreading disinformation.
They met in the election.
Yeah.
You know, if that money was for my Israel, it'd be no problem. Yeah, no problem at all.
Maybe it would have been more.
You think so? It'd have been a lot more.
You know?
Damn, man. So are they looking at like jail time?
No, because they're not actually indicting any of the creators.
Oh, that's good.
They're only indicting the 2 Russians that are in Russia. Meaning, and I think that's on intention, because if they don't indict Lauren Chen or Tenet Media or any of the other creators involved, then they don't have to go through a discovery period. And if you don't go through a discovery period, then they don't have to show how they got the information, what they really found.
Right.
They can just put out this indictment, say, hey, look, we have these connections now, and they can start digging around other places.
Right.
But they don't actually have to tell you how and what they're doing.
Okay, so they're just trying to paint a bad light on conservatives.
Correct.
Yeah, this smells like what they did to Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
this smells just
Trump.
like that. Yeah. And I bet you, man, I ain't got nothing to back it, but I think it's the same people behind it.
Yeah.
Because if Trump wins his election, this is going to be all over the news.
Yeah. And they're going to say, look at what this person said 3 months ago. Look at what this person said 6 months ago.
Right.
Hey, let's cancel them. Let's take them off the internet. They shouldn't be
Right.
allowed. They're dangerous, etc. I think it's a really bad precedent.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, man, that is so crazy. I heard this. I was like, man, this is fake. That's like we brought what's his name on the
Elijah.
show? Elijah. He said, no, it's not fake.
Yeah.
He said he didn't take the money. He's like, nah, this is coming from Russia. You guys are crazy. You guys are freaking idiots. You take that money. Because when you think about it, you're on YouTube, you know how much money you make per 1,000 views.
Yeah.
And they were doing these videos and you're going to get 400,000 a week for
That's a
one
lot.
episode. That is like, that's not a good business model. You go out of business quick, right? That's not money well spent.
Hey,
So
man.
it's like they set them up.
Right. Matt, are you familiar with the content that they were sharing? Because I'm not too familiar with it.
It was just their regular videos. They wanted that to be
Oh, okay.
on. I think they just wanted access into the people. And they were probably set up.
Yeah,
You know, honeypot, 400 grand. How do you say no to that?
Right.
And because of that, now they can look into all the communications. They know what's going on in the background. I think it was just like an easy way to get in. And it sucks.
Right.
But at the
It's
same
smart.
time,
It's so
400
smart.
grand just
Yeah.
shows up at your doorstep. You got to ask questions.
I wonder how
You
this is
just
getting
can't take
paid.
it, you know?
Was it through Bitcoin or something? Or-
I think it was just cash. No, I think it was
Cash?
like regular money.
Yeah.
You know, like they just got payments. And they're like, oh, yeah, it hit my account. Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy. Hey, what do you think what's going on up in do you think it's any proof to like Haitians up there eating ducks and cats and dogs and
I don't know, man, but that sucks because I love duck. You know what I mean?
can't stand duck.
I love duck, and now next time I go to a restaurant or I go to a Chinese restaurant or whatever, and I order duck, I gotta be like, damn, they're judging me. I can feel them looking at me
already
sideways
know
because
you're
I want duck. Bro, I just want to eat my duck in peace.
I think it's cool in the restaurant, but if you're walking down the street, you see the ducks. That's crazy.
I live on like a little lake, and we have ducks in the back, and
Right,
you know,
right.
my daughter's looking at the ducks. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna eat that for dinner. I can't even make that joke anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, what was like? You see all these people coming to our country illegally. What was your experience like when you migrated to the United
Well, no, I was born here.
States? Okay, you was born
Yeah,
here.
so I was
Okay.
born here, but I've been around a lot of immigrants. I lived in Flushing and Queens for a long time, so that is probably like 80% immigrant and Asian and mostly Korean and Chinese. And even the ones that are here legally, and even the ones that are here illegally, are pretty pissed off, which is funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, you know, even the ones that are here legally currently and that have been here for a long time,
Right.
they're like, we had to do a lot of stuff to sneak in this country
Right,
illegally.
right.
It was
Yeah.
not just walk across the border. We
Right.
had
You
to
didn't
pay
get
a
flown
guy,
in.
and then we had to like get in a container and like sneak in, and we had to pay all these people.
Right.
And we had to figure out how to keep our like noses clean and try to figure out how to assimilate. And now people are just being flown in and they're being given money. And like, dude, that's messed up.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a right way to do it illegally. So I
Right.
think a lot of people that are here are pretty annoyed.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. What's a lot? I would really like to point out is like these Haitians. They flew them into a red state.
Yeah.
They're going to make them citizens. They're going to be living in that state.
And it's nothing we can do to stop it because they actually seek the prerequisites to be.
They have
citizens.
the prerequisites to be citizens.
Yeah, I talked to a guy that works for the USCS, which is the division that processes immigration applications, and he said that they are no longer processing the form. So if say you're here legally and you're a citizen or whatever, and you want to sponsor your family member that's in another country. It's form, I think, I-230 or something like this. They stopped processing that form. So, for example, if you have a relative in Korea or in China or in Venezuela or whatever else, not Venezuela, in Brazil, and you want to bring them here legally, they are no longer processing the application. Instead, that entire division is now spent on how to process Venezuelans. So if they come here illegally, they are giving them 2 years of free stay. You're allowed to roam the country as you wish. And basically, if you bring children, then you pay a fine and you're good to go. They're almost encouraging trafficking. They're almost encouraging people to come in, and they are discouraging people from coming here legally. And that happened the last 6 months, I believe.
Right. Yeah, my wife, she came to this country from Mexico City. Right. And
legally, though.
She came legally. And then, but she lost all her paperwork. She couldn't even prove that she was here legally, but she graduated high school and everything. And we got married, so we decided to fix her papers. So we had to go to this, what was that city? Ciudad Juarez in Mexico. That place was scary. When I was driving across the border, I was like shaking because I was looking at these houses like they was made out of cardboard, right? And I was like, people live in that shit? So we get there, right? It's a dust bowl, right? It's trash everywhere. It's the most inhumane thing I've ever seen. And then the toughest thing about it, when we got there, she was deported for 60 days. I had to leave her there. So I was prepared to bring over the border illegal. I said, no, just shut the fuck up. Get in the trunk. We're going home.
Yeah.
But she stayed. Fortunately, she had family there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did everything right, and it felt like they was punishing her. And the way they treated us when we was there and how they treated her like she wasn't even human. It was really horrible.
Yeah, it's not easy because there are people trying to do it the right way. And the waiting list for people to do it the right way is so long. You know, there are people that have been waiting in the system for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years.
Right.
And all of a sudden you let all these people in improperly. And they're like, what the hell? Like, why are you jumping me? I've been waiting and doing everything that I was told to do. Right. There's something unfair about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, on the right side, they say they call it a conspiracy, but they're trying to add voters to the Democrat rolls. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Now, politically, which side do you lean on?
I mean, I'm definitely a conservative.
Okay.
I believe strongly in very strong conservative values, Christian conservative values. But as far as government, I think the whole thing is rigged. But we do have a binary choice in the country of which side we're going to vote for. And I think it's important that we vote for the side, at least representing the side of good, or at least trying to be the side of good.
Right.
I know that there are a lot of people that aren't overly happy with maybe some things about President Trump. I happen to like him.
Yeah.
You know?
I think he's perfect.
You know, everything about him is so perfect.
I like his faces he were making during the debate. But who you think is going to win the election?
I think it's 50-50.
It's going to be close, right?
It's going to be really close.
It should be a landslide.
It should be.
Yeah.
If it was fair, it'd be a landslide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking the key state to win is Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
If we win Pennsylvania, I think we got it.
Yeah.
But if we lose Pennsylvania, I'm not going to be confident.
Yeah.
I think it's the 1% of uneducated, not uneducated, 1% of uninformed voters within the battleground states that are going to make a difference.
Did you see that interview? What's that famous basketball player? He looks like me. But I look better than him. He shoots a lot of threes and shit.
A lot of them?
Oh, Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry. He said he was voting for Kamala because he supports women's choice to choose.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, dude.
Yeah, Democrat voters vote on they're like single policy voters.
No, I think that's just the line they gave him because they probably paid him to support the left. I was like, come on, for a man, why am I going out to vote for a woman because I want her to have the right to choose?
I think it's really a part of the mass psychosis event, right? People are being convinced, and the Democratic Party is so good at infiltrating deep into social media, deep into YouTube.
They're better politicians.
And you don't even know where it's coming from.
Right.
I was with a friend of mine, and we're in the car with his daughter. She was 11 years old. And somehow we were talking about Kamala. Not like anything serious, just the name came up. And she says, oh, we're going to vote for Kamala, right? And everyone looked at her like, what? Why? And she's like, oh, yeah, because she's so brat. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
And the mom goes, what is it about Kamala that you'd want to vote for her? She's 11. She says, because she's good for women's rights. You don't care about women's rights?
Right.
She's 11 years old. Where did she get that from?
Right. And what rights is Trump trying to take away from a woman?
That's exactly what she said. What, Mom, why would you even ask that? You don't care about women's rights?
Right.
She's not watching top 10 reasons Kamala Harris is amazing. That's not the video she's watching.
Mm-hmm.
She's just watching regular YouTube, watching regular content, and infiltrated inside of it somewhere are these talking points. They're so deep within the system, and we have no idea and no way to track it because we don't see it.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the most concerning part. They are so deep.
Yeah. Women is very gullible when it comes to voting, I think. Because the only reason why Democrats get in office is because of women.
Yeah.
Women and the Negroes.
Good job, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, my people.
Got our new giveaway. You asked for it, we got it. Man, this is a 69 Chevy Camaro. We give away American muscle here. This is actually a race car, standard, 6-speed, Yanko version. Did you tell him it had a 540 big block in it? It's got over 700 horsepower in now. Did you hear that? This car got over 700 horses. That's crazy. How did they get 700 horses up under the hood? That's that white American engineering right there. You know That's what founded this country. Go to officialhodgetwins.com. Anything you buy from the site, get you automatic. Enter to win. Yeah.
Hey, what have you always been conservative? What red pilled you?
Well, I've always been more conservative because I remember my father when I was young. I say, why are we Republican? And he says, because we don't like to pay a lot of taxes. I said, fair. That makes a lot of sense. I could totally get behind that. But I think 2020 was the red pill moment for most people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everyone's dying, everyone's going to die, and they're telling you all day long, and you look around and you're like, bro, everyone's still here.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, I don't know anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, my red pill moment was Obama. I voted for him his first term.
Good job. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks again for that one.
I was one of those Negroes. But, you know, us being self-employed, we got this letter in the mail about our insurance.
Health insurance.
Health insurance almost doubled, and we lost coverage, and it gave us the reasons why. It said in big, bold letters, Obamacare. Then I started to listen. I got family that's Republicans.
Yeah, my brother.
Yeah,
He put it in my ear.
Yeah. So he started. I was like, you're a Republican? You crazy? You're black. I was one of those black guys.
Yeah, mama walking around the house with an Obama shirt on.
Yeah. So I started to listen. I came across Larry Elder, and Ben Shapiro. Shit started making sense, but I still voted for Obama because I want to see a black president, and I thought that was great for America to have a black president. Racism is over. Nope, it's more racism than ever, according to those people. So that was my red pill moment. That's why I decided to vote red, because they actually hurt my business. They took food out off my table, and it put a stress on my family.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Democrats they don't stand on policy. They just stand on painting the other side as evil and being an existential threat. They don't like Republicans stand on policy, and we haven't won a popular vote in. I think it was Reagan was the last person.
Long time.
Yeah.
So, and now I want to bring up this issue about abortion. What are you pro-life or pro-choice?
Definitely pro-life.
Pro-life?
Definitely pro-life. I think that abortion is killing babies. That's what I believe.
Right.
I understand that women's right to choose, and I'm on the fence because I don't like the government intervening in people's lives at all. Actually, I think the government should be as small as possible.
Right.
And unless majority of the country agrees on something, I don't think the federal government should be involved at all.
Right.
So I think that's why Trump and having Roe v. Wade overturned was a good thing. Let the states decide, because how people feel are different. I'm just more than my stance on abortion. I am even more anti-big government and them interfering in our lives. So sometimes you have to live with policies that you don't like for kind of what the greater good is. And the greater good is that the federal government is too large. It is trying to control the way we live our lives. And I think that's the biggest danger to society.
Yeah. I think for the most part, that one issue is what's hampering the Republican Party. I think we need to come to terms and regulate it and move on, because we lose so many votes on this one issue.
Yeah.
But there's Republicans that don't want to ban. They want to just outright ban it.
Yeah.
Because they're so,
And
adamant
it
about
hurts. It hurts
Yeah.
the Republican Party.
I mean, I think there's a fine line between saying, I want the federal government to control your life, which is what a ban would be, and saying, I vehemently disagree with, or absolutely hate, or I don't agree at all with abortion. So I think you have to be unapologetic in your viewpoint, right? Like you have certain core values that you believe in. Don't be scared. Say it. But at the same time, I don't want the government to decide that for other people.
Right.
You know, what we should do is that if you are pro-life and you think that abortion is killing babies, you should figure out a way to convince the rest of the population to agree with you.
Right.
Not try to have the government do your job.
Right.
We as a society need to fix ourselves. We as a society need to fix the culture of society and stop looking for Big Brother to fix the problems for us.
Do you think, after watching that debate, do you think a lot of women that are on the limb, they don't know who they want to vote for, but this is a very important issue for them? You think they're willing to vote Republican this time after that debate? Because for me, I don't think he was. When they asked him that question, are you going to totally, outright not do a federal abortion ban? He didn't answer the question. He kept saying, I don't have to. I was like, why don't you just say it?
Yeah.
And he didn't want to say it, which makes me believe there is some truth behind that. If he comes out with an executive, let's say he becomes president, he signs an executive order, and they put more restrictions on abortion, Republicans will not win another election for the foreseeable future if they do that. I think they're going to kill the Republican Party.
I mean, I would argue that Republican Party is already dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, too.
You know, I think that's the hardest part of it. You know, like I believe in no government. Actually, I'm as close to no government intervention at all as possible. At the same time, I believe strongly in very strong conservative values.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that the Republican Party and the conservatives have been so willing to give on their values so much. I think you have to stand firm on your values.
Right.
Because, the left doesn't budge. They want to kill all babies and reduce humanity, right?
Yeah.
And they will never give.
To save the environment.
Yeah, to save the environment because of global warming.
Right.
And
This kid's going to kill everybody.
and the conservatives are like, okay, we'll accept just a little bit, and you keep on moving the goalpost. And the Overton window keeps on shifting further and further left, which is why we ended up where we are.
Right.
I think the right should have stayed as hard right as possible and to combat the hardness of the left. And then some way we would have some sort of order and balance in society.
Right.
It's because the left never budges, the right always budges, and therefore we're constantly moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
I think that's a big problem.
Yeah, when I look at modern conservatism today, I don't even see them as Republicans or conservatives. I look at them as more like a pro-life liberal.
Yeah.
Because the leftists went so far left.
Yeah.
I don't even, for the most part, I came across, what was that one? Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris. Yeah, he said, man, the leftists went so far left. He said all Republicans are just liberals nowadays. Because if you look at the Republican Party today, there was Bill Clinton, Joe Biden, tough border security, tough on crime. Yeah. That's really what we are. Yeah. Yeah. Old Joe Biden wasn't that bad. He was hard on those Negroes. Called them super predators.
I mean, did you guys see that clip recently of Joe Biden put on the MAGA hat?
I saw that.
Did you see the
Hey,
whole
do you
clip?
got that, Joe?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
The whole clip.
Yeah.
And when I first saw the picture of him putting on the hat, I was like, dude, this guy's lost.
Right.
And then you watch the whole clip and you're like, he's actually engaging and having fun with them.
Right.
I was like, that's old Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He was actually didn't seem that lost. He knew what he was doing. He was playing with the crowd and having fun with them.
Yeah.
Like that's the Joe Biden we kind of knew.
You want to autograph it?
Oh, sure, I'll autograph.
Huh?
Yeah.
You remember your name?
Can you make that bigger, Joe?
You're an old part.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm an old guy.
And you're an old part, right?
I know you would know about that.
What?
About being old.
Oh, I know.
All right.
I'm a young timer.
You know, he reminds me of the guys that grew up with.
Fucking
There was always
slough
one in the neighborhood.
Well, I'm the only one.
You know those kids back there.
There you go, man. I need that hat.
Want my autograph?
Hell no.
You know my name. Come on.
I ain't going that far.
Yeah, you said you would do a selfie. There you go. Hey, I'm proud of you now.
Just remember, no eating dogs and cats.
Hey, they're good. They're good.
That was
That's
funny.
why I took 'em.
I hope you like the pizza. You guys picked the place to get. I don't know where it's not easy.
It's funny that now that he's no longer running for president,
He totally don't give a shit.
he don't give a shit. Now it's like, all right,
Yeah.
you actually, like, he was kind of likable back in the day.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see glimmers of that.
Yeah.
You kind of feel bad for him because it was totally a coup.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
They
shouldn't
keep
be
saying we the
surprised.
biggest threat against democracy. It's them.
Yeah.
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 Nobody
And-
voted for her.
No.
Yes, she's running. She was most unlike when she actually ran for president. She was the first one to drop out.
She polled at 1%.
How
Nash-
crazy would it be if he came out and he's like, "Oh, like they screwed me. It was a coup. I didn't want to leave.
I never
and
liked
I'm
her."
gonna vote for Trump."
That would be awesome. Yeah.
How wild would that be?
Hey, what do you think about RFK Jr.?
I
Been on stage with Trump.
think he's interesting.
Yeah.
He's a Democrat.
He's
He's a
the
true
one and
dem-
only liberal, left.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a true liberal. So I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but
Right.
I think he's honest and genuine in what he's trying to do. So I think that's the most important thing right now. Is like, do the people that you're listening to or you're voting for, are they at least honest and genuine, and do they actually believe what they're saying?
Right.
I think that needs to be the new standard of what
Right.
we're looking at.
Right.
Because everyone's lying to you. Everyone in media is lying to you. All the politicians are lying to you.
Right.
So if they're honest, at least you understand what they're doing. I think he cares about the issues he cares about. And although I don't agree with, say, his stance on abortion, or I don't agree with his stance
He
on...
didn't flip flop on that multiple times.
He flips a lot on certain things.
Yeah.
But he cares about health.
Right.
He cares about the weaponization of the FDA and the USDA and things like this. He cares a
Censorship.
lot about censorship. He cares a lot about, things like this. So I'm all for that. I like that he's on this side. I think that's a game changer.
Yeah.
But
Still going to be close.
it's still going to be close. I think before he endorsed Trump, I wasn't as big of a fan.
Right.
Because I think you had a binary choice, and I felt like he was taking more Trump voters than Kamala voters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now that he's on the side,
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing.
When Vivek was running for president, I really liked Vivek. And I really liked Tulsi Gabbard, too. Especially Tulsi because she came from the Democrat Party. When I looked at Vivek when he was running, he polled very, very bad. And I was like, this guy says everything right. He's perfect. He sounds like AI. I was like, why is this dude not polling better? I think he should have been Trump's VP pick or Tulsi Gabbard or, somebody that's not white.
Well, I think he's just, even that white lady said, Ann Coulter, because he's not white.
Yeah.
We brought that up to him when we interviewed him. He got a little uncomfortable. He got uncomfortable and he said, no, that's not what it is. And I was like,
I told him, dude, if you had a blonde ponytail, blue eyes, you had 1776 across your face, you'd be Trump's VP pick.
Do you think he'd be as popular if he was white?
He'd be more popular.
You think?
yeah.
Because there are a lot of people that are saying the same thing, and it's not as actually interesting. You don't think that the colored part of it makes it more interesting?
No, I think he polled so bad because he's not white.
You know why I say this? I see a lot of people out in town. I said, man, what do you think about that for Vic, man? They said, man, I don't trust him. And every last white person told me this. He sounds too much like Obama.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. The guy's not even black. He's Indian. And he's Republican. Why y'all keep comparing him to a black liberal?
Yeah.
That's
a black
what-
progressive.
A black progressive liberal.
I was talking to a gas station guy. There's a gas station right by my office.
Yeah.
And I was there getting coffee, and every once in a while we'll talk politics. Random guy, Indian guy. And one day I asked him, like, what do you think about Vivek? And Indian guy, he goes, who's that? I said, what do you mean, who's that? He's Indian. He's running for president.
Right.
He's like, why? Like, you don't want to vote for him? He's like, no, he's Indian. The Indian guy didn't want to vote
So
for
the
an
Indian
Indian
guy's
guy.
racist too, huh?
Indian guy's like, why would I vote for an Indian guy?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with it. I don't think a lot of people is willing to admit it because if you make him his VP or actually say you nominate him as the Republican Party and during the election we have a poor turnout, that will confirm everybody's suspicions on the left. Because
Well-
that's all they say. Everybody on the right is racist.
I would say it's not racism. It's a bias. Just a bias.
Yeah.
I liked Ben Carson.
I love Ben Carson. Yeah.
I thought he would have been a really good VP pick. I was a huge fan of that potential pick. Kind of a little sad that didn't happen. JD's good too, but
JD's awesome.
yeah, but I really like Ben Carson. I think that made a lot of sense.
Right. Because he's not going to run for president next.
Yeah. There's no threat, and he's like so even keel and helps balance off Trump.
Right.
You know, so if anyone that says Trump is too radical or he's too in your face, then you have, you know, Dr. Ben Carson who kind of creates that balance, and a lot of people would think, okay, like I don't trust Trump, but I trust Dr. Ben, so I can get behind this. I thought that might have been a good move, but you know, what do I know?
You know what would piss me off? If Ben Carson runs for president and I ask people out in town, what do you think about Ben? Man, I don't trust him. Sounds like Obama to me. I'm like,
maybe he'll get Vivek.
Do you like Vivek?
I'm on the fence.
You don't trust him either.
I don't trust him.
He sounds like Obama, right?
I don't trust him. He sounds too much like Obama. You know?
Yeah, some people say he's too perfect. Yeah, his questions are he's too well spoken.
I think there's something about
He sounds
someone
scripted.
that's too
People
polished,
say he sounds too scripted.
and he understands technology. You know what people are thinking about. If you have access into algorithms, or you have understanding what the conversations are, then it's really easy to just say exactly what people want to hear.
Right.
I think you have to have a little flaw in your argument because it makes you more human. For example,
Makes you sound genuine.
yeah, a lot of comedians when they go up on stage, they could maybe not stutter ever. They don't have ahs, they don't do these things, but you add them intentionally. Because it makes you more relatable. If you come off too polished, it looks fake.
Right.
You know, it's almost like that, where the human psychology wants people that are a little more relatable. And JD Vance, when he goes on interviews, he'll say like, dude, you know, or like, bro, you know.
He's very likable.
And people like that because it's relatable.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah.
You know? But I think that's polish, and that takes time. I think if he decides he's going to stay in politics longer.
Yeah. Do you think Vivek has a future with the Republican Party?
I guess it depends on whether or not he wants to get involved. Like, he's done very well for himself. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, he's a billionaire. So.
You know? So it really depends. I think people are really sketchy people that just show up out of nowhere.
Right.
And all of a sudden, like, hey, I'm going to run for president, and I'm a billionaire. Like, okay, like, really?
Yeah, where did you get your money? Oh, he worked at a pharmaceutical company. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah. But if he sticks around for 4, 5, 6 years.
Yeah, it's going to take some time.
Yeah, 6 years to 8 years later, he's like, okay, I'm going to run for president, and you've been a part of the process for 8 years. Then now it's, okay, I know you, I trust you, you've been around, you didn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
We have an understanding of what your real policies are, who you are. I think you have to think long game. I think that the Democratic Party thinks long game. They've been prepping Gavin Newsom to be run for president in 4 or 8 years forever.
Right. Yeah. Back to your point, he is so fake.
So fake.
Yeah.
But Democrats feel like they know him. And they know his ups, they know his downs, they know that they lied to you during COVID, but then he'll kind of apologize and they're over it. You know, like, it gives you time to go through that.
Yeah.
And with Vivek, you didn't have that time to kind of learn. I think that was the biggest problem for RFK also.
Yeah.
He just, out of nowhere, he's like, I'm running for president.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I kind of like his policies. What if the independent candidate was campaigning for 5 years? By the time election season comes around, you're like, all right, I kind of understand him. I like him. I can put my support behind him. And it doesn't feel like a throwaway vote.
Yeah. Right.
You know? So I think that's part of it. If you want to get new into politics, I think you just have to get involved a little bit sooner. Presidential cycles start 1 year before, but it's a really important decision. You got to be in the public eye longer now.
Yeah. What do you see happen in this country if Kamala Harris becomes president?
I think you and I are going to jail.
I'm going to Thailand.
They're going to get you before that. They're tracking you. I think that's a huge concern.
Yeah, I have a lot of people think if Kamala wins his presidency, a lot of conservative media is going to get shut down. YouTube, they're going to clamp down on everybody. And
I think
totally change your content.
I think that's a lot of it. You know, they've been tracking who says what, who is spreading certain rumors, and they'll figure out, okay, that was not true, that was not true. And the reality is, even if we have our best intent on putting out information, you're only as good as the data you're given.
Right.
And we're given flawed data. So therefore, our takes can't be perfect. It's impossible.
Right.
Because we have flawed data to work with. No one ever tells us true data.
Same thing goes for CNN, Fox News. They're not perfect. They pay millions of dollars in lawsuits.
They can't be. And they put out a retraction in a paper 3 weeks later, hidden on page 54. No one ever reads it. And they're like, oh, yeah, but we apologize. It's okay. We don't have that liberty.
Right.
You know, and I think they're keeping tabs on everybody. They have a database of who's good, who's bad, who's been compliant, who's been helpful, who is willing to be compliant if given a little bit of pressure. And if you've shown that you are kind of anti-establishment, I think you're going to have a hard time.
Right.
Yeah.
Your podcast is blowing up. What if you did to insulate yourself from something like that happening to you?
Just always tell the truth.
Yeah.
You know, like don't take money, don't do weird deals.
Yeah, don't take
don't take the 400,000
a video.
Yeah, you just can't do it.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Right now, they are keeping tabs on everybody. I think you just have to be as honest and genuine as possible. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. But at least no one told you to do that, and you are acting in your best interest. I think in the long run, people who are honest and genuine will win the social media and content game. Because as all content becomes more digital, everything becomes more AI, that the people who are honest and genuine and more analog will win, because value is in scarcity and analog people will be scarce. So I think that's just the long-term play. It's not the best short-term play, because right now if you create AI closed of yourself and you put out unlimited content and information, like you'll probably make money now. But I think it's harder to survive long-term.
I think AI is going to be used as a weapon against us.
Yes.
So, fuck it, let's just walk out of here.
Just go down with the ship. It's fine.
Put on a dress.
Yeah.
Start doing content for them.
Right.
All you gotta do is one episode in a dress.
I go work for Russia, man. They go give me $400,000 video. I'm fine. I still can't get over that. That is crazy. What would you have did if they offer you $400,000?
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'd
be like, wait a minute. You're going to pay me $400,000 for one video? Where's this money coming from? That's the first question I would ask. Yeah.
I think it's a really slippery slope. You know, so I'm in the camp of say no to everything, which is not the best business decision because, dude, like we want to make money. But I think this Tenet Media thing shows that anyone that took it even just a little bit, everyone's kind of worried, right?
Yeah.
Like, shit. I have no idea where that came from.
These people are not sleeping at night, huh? Yeah,
You know?
I mean, especially in this era, what they did to Trump. Trump hasn't even broken the law, and he's been convicted of 34 felonies. You're taking $400,000?
Yeah.
You're not.
You got to be guilty of something.
I would not have.
You gotta be careful. Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy because, you know, sometimes you do stuff that you say things because you agree and you take the money. And you're like, oh, but it's something I agree with. And I get that. But, man, you never know. And this proves it. This shows that you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I don't feel so good, man.
What's wrong with you?
I'm embarrassed to tell you. I'm just going to tell you, I ain't took a shit in like 2 weeks, man.
Ain't you taking your OH? Your optimal human?
I thought we ran out of it.
Man, here, take this. Here's some right here. Take it. Get it up in you. Drink that. Get that probiotics. That artichoke.
That is good.
That apple powder. All those essential nutrients that get your intestines right. Yeah, get them intestines right. Get it all up in you. Swallow it. There you go. Why are you drinking it like it's Kool-Aid or something? Just
Well, you made it with cold water. I'm over here getting brain freeze.
What's good with cold water? It's like a smoothie.
Oh, man, I feel something move. Oh, man.
Go to optimalhuman.com/Hodgetwins and now try Optimal Human for free today. Hey, what do you feel about what's going on in Israel? And we got to be careful because Jewish people are very powerful. So take some of your advice. Be genuine. Only say the truth. Man. Only say the truth.
I made a video once saying, how come I can criticize black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, gay people, trans people, everyone.
Right.
But if I say something about Jewish people, then they're going to cancel me.
Yeah, they're perfect, though. That's why you can't.
And I made this video, and I put it online, and I got all these letters from Jewish fraternities saying that they're going to sue me for defamation.
Really? Are you bullshitting?
Yeah, seriously. I got letters from Jewish attorneys saying that they're going to sue me for defamation because I can't say that. I was like, this is proving the point, isn't it?
Yeah. What did you say?
I just told you what I said.
That is crazy. Just criticized them, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And it was like, I think this was like right after October 7th. So the timing of it was not the best.
that was horrible.
That was the worst timing.
You waited like 2 days. And shit.
Yeah.
You know the craziest thing I find? What they say we anti-Semitic, and all we doing is criticizing one Semitic group of people over another Semitic group. I'll say if I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm trying to protect another group of people that's Semitic. They act like Semitism it only applies to Jewish people. It doesn't apply to Muslims.
It just means you're
Palestinians.
You could
it
be
applies
Muslim.
to all the people of that area. Why? It's almost like they hijacked that word for them.
Yeah, I think it's like oversensitive on one side because if we say, "Oh, the Chinese are buying up all the farmland," it's not every single Chinese person.
Yeah.
Right. It's a very select few.
Just some of them, right?
right. If you say, black people all voted for Obama and ruined politics forever, it's not all black people.
Just
Maybe
some.
you guys did, but there are people out there that didn't.
right.
Right. So I think people just talk in blanket statements, and I think that's fine. It proves a point.
Right.
But people get really upset about that.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about when you think of black culture, what do you think?
Like rap music?
That's a trick question.
Like rap
If I was
music?
you, I was like, I'll pass on that question. No, I'm just like getting a perspective from somebody that's not black. I have a perspective on black people.
Yeah.
And I think, hold on, let me do some talking. When I think of black culture, I think of the subculture within the black community. The ratchet, the ghetto, the uneducated, the ignorant, the loud, the obnoxious. That's what I think of. Because there's so many 95% of them vote for Democrats. That should tell you something. That's no other demographic in this country votes for one party.
And we have stereotypes for a reason. Like when I come across a person Asian, first thing that pops, this dude's real good at math.
Yeah, he's
He
smart.
probably
I am good at math.
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah, of course.
See?
I'm Asian.
We got
Yeah.
stereotypes for a reason. Right?
I mean, like example, your culture, like
Yeah.
I don't see homeless Asian people. I don't see Asian gangs like taking over like cities. I mean, I just don't see that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
So-
when I see Latinos, I think hard workers, family, good family.
I think
don't-
of black people. I think of they pull in the race car 24/7.
I think of degeneracy.
So when I was in high school, I went to high school in Ohio. And the school I went to Ohio was maybe 3 Asian kids in my grade. The school was 4,000 kids, so 1,000 kids per grade. There was 3 Asian kids.
school.
And
Did you feel oppressed?
of course, and majority white and maybe 10% black.
Right.
So being the minority, I hung out with all the black kids. And at that time, I remember when Jackie Chan did a movie with Chris Tucker. I was like, yes, finally. right? And I listened to a lot of Wu-Tang Clan, and they watch a lot of Kung Fu movies. Like, yeah, I like Wu-Tang Clan because they watch Kung Fu movies.
Right.
Right? So there was a certain respect for black culture at that time because they were really setting the trend on what culture was. They were pushing the envelope, and even all the white kids were doing all the black things.
Right.
And then Eminem came around and then ruined everything, ruined it for everybody. But until then, there were black people were setting the trend and whatever's going on.
That's a long time ago. It seems like now.
It does, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
You know what's
totally
crazy
changed.
about black culture? Everything you see in modern society, everything's been touched by black culture. Music, everything, movies, the things we use, inventions. Everything's at, sports. Black people did a lot of good in this country. It's like recently it's just black people just took a turn for the worst.
Yeah, I mean, every time, if there's a hierarchy of peoples in the world and within the United States that are responsible for slavery, if you have white people and black people, because it depends on who you ask, white people, black people, Hispanic people, really
No,
at
it's
the-
this. You got it wrong. Jews, then white people.
at the
then black
very-
people dead last.
Well, no, dead last is Asian people.
Yeah.
We weren't even here.
Okay.
Right? Not here, not a part of it at all whatsoever. But every time that a white cop beats a black guy, black people are burning Asian businesses. Like, why?
Yeah.
We weren't even a part of it.
You
I
and
w-
that
not even here
community
yet.
providing a service to them.
Not
when they burn
even
your
here
business.
yet. Had nothing to do with this.
Right.
So that kind of is one of those things.
Yeah.
There was a campaign going. It was like "Stop the Asian Hate." I didn't realize what was going on.
Yeah.
But it turns out it was a bunch of black people.
Well, it was big in the news, and everyone wanted to talk about Stop Asian Hate because this was right after BLM. So everyone wanted to be the identity politics. And then they realized there was a bunch of black people in democratic cities doing all the violence. They're like, oh, just kidding. Just kidding. Nothing to see here. We're good. It's not a thing. Don't worry about it.
What was that all about? They was mad at Asian people because of COVID?
I think it was COVID. Was it related to COVID?
I think it was just it's still going on, by the way.
Really?
Where in democratic cities, especially places like San Francisco, LA, New York, where random people will go up to old grandmas, like walk in the street and just hit them.
Oh, they call it the knockout game.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
nuts.
actually one of the worst things you can do.
Yeah,
to go
right.
after old people or elderly people and just hit them and run away. It's like the
Yeah,
worst thing.
that's the culture I was talking about, man. It's just
It's horrible.
it's so bad, and it's just fuck.
But the reality is that people, I truly believe that a lot of people do these really extreme things because if they do them, they have the chance to go viral. And people care so much more about virality and clicks and views that they're willing to do things that they normally wouldn't do.
Yeah. They're willing to record themselves
Yeah,
breaking a law.
correct.
That
Same
is
reason.
beyond stupid.
Same reason why people were dancing on cop cars during BLM. They didn't care about BLM. They just wanted to go viral.
Right.
And if we stop giving attention in this attention economy to those types of videos, actually, I think a lot of it goes away because they don't have a desire to do it anymore. They don't do it because they actually hate people. I don't think most people actually hate people.
Yeah.
They just want to go viral more.
Yeah, you just take a group of good people and all it takes is one bad apple and make them all.
Well, that's the whole argument about TikTok. Like, there's two versions of TikTok. The American TikTok, where they're like feeding people all this bullshit and indoctrinating them, and then their TikTok they use to educate their population.
Have you seen the Chinese version of TikTok?
No, I haven't. I just
It's the
what I
same.
hear.
It's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same. It's almost similar. It's a lot of girls dancing. It's a lot of. There's just not as
A
much.
lot of Asian girls dance?
A lot of Asian girls
Oh,
dancing.
that's
Go
what
check
I'm
it
talking
out.
about.
Go check it out.
Get some of that long time.
I think a lot of it is that, like in the Chinese version, they don't have like a lot of trans content. It's because the people in China don't want to watch trans content.
Right.
Actually, it's a cultural thing. So the culture of China, they don't want to see a lot of violence. They don't want to see a lot of trans content. They don't want to see a lot of these extreme things. Therefore, the algorithm doesn't show them, and people don't make that type of content. Here in the United States, people want to see that crazy shit.
Right.
And therefore, people make it, and the algorithm feeds it to you. Actually, if you say that if the Chinese content is different than the U.S. content, it's actually very indicative of society.
Right.
Americans want to see that stuff.
Yeah. That's our culture.
It's a cultural difference. It's not an algorithmic difference. I don't think so. Because I've seen parts of Douyin, which is a Chinese version. It's almost the same,
Yeah.
minus the really weird, radical, crazy shit.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That whole thing about stop the Asian hate. Majority was black, but they always say black people can't be racist. Right? I'm one of the most racist people I ever met.
Me too.
I was like, bullshit, a black man can't be racist.
I think being racist is fine. I think this idea
just don't
that
act on it.
well, I think the idea that you have to remove racism is wrong. It's like saying, if you're a New York fan and I hate LA fans of whatever your favorite sport team is, people hate each other.
Right.
Like, I want to kill them because, they like the opposing team. Like, that's okay. But all of a sudden, if it's a different country, that's not okay? No, that's fine. Just don't act on it. I think having stereotypes is fine.
Yeah.
Actually, don't bother me at all.
Yeah,
Oh, black people like fried chicken and watermelon. Like, dude, I like fried chicken and watermelon. It's my favorite thing to eat in the summer. Why do you guys get to monopolize that? I want that too.
Yeah. Who doesn't like fried chicken?
Who doesn't like it? That's
Right.
why is that a bad thing? Or Asian people are good at math. I'm like, awesome. I am.
Yeah.
What's
Right.
what's wrong? Why is that a bad
I'm
thing?
like, man, I don't like Asian people. Why? They're smart.
Thank you. Amazing.
Motherfuckers can do everything I can't do.
Like, I wish I could play basketball.
Yeah. Wish I could duck.
Yeah, I wish I could dunk. I used to dream about dunking. It never happened. You could be whoever you want. That's bullshit. I can't dunk.
Right. Let's talk about black people some more. What do you think about Tyreek Hill? Who? Tyreek Hill. The football player.
the incident
Got pulled
with
over.
Oh, yeah.
That was so... If
All
he
right.
had just kept his... I'm going to get your take. Yeah.
If I was Tyreek Hill's friend and I pulled up and I saw him, I saw my buddy sitting on the ground with the cops over him, I would have got out of the car too. Right? Regardless if I'm supposed to or I'm supposed to not, my
Right.
buddy's on the ground and the cops are there, I'm going to go try to help. And maybe I'll get in trouble, maybe I won't. So I think that was weird that they really went after him. As far as Tyreek Hill, like, open the window.
Right.
At the same time, the cop, it was overly aggressive. You didn't have to do that.
Right.
So I think it's really sad because it was a situation that could have been easily avoided by both sides.
Right.
I think both sides could have done better.
It was a clash of egos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither side wanted to give, and it could have been completely avoided.
Right.
Yeah.
If a cop pulls you over for speeding and you have your window up, he knocks on your window, what's the first thing you're going to say when he knocks on your window?
Hell no.
You know, you're going to get your ass dragged out of the car. Dang, you're going to get that out of his car if you don't
Hell
open his window.
no. Hell no.
Yeah, whenever I get put over by the cops, I'm thinking, how can I make this go as smooth as possible?
course.
Right. And I'm just polite, cordial. I give the cop whatever he wants, my license, registration. I just make it smooth as possible.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the way I've always handled it. And you know what? I've never been dragged out of my car and put on my face and just subjected what they subjected Tyreek Hill
I've
to.
gotten a lot of speeding tickets. A lot. And I've never had a bad experience with a cop. Never. I
you got the
never did
tickets.
this. I never did any of that.
If you're a white girl, they will let you go.
Oh, they let me go now. Like, you know how many tickets I got of? They pulled me over. They come in the car. Hodgetwins, what the fuck? Dude, slow down. Hold up, let me take a selfie real quick. All right, man, y'all keep fighting a good fight. Yeah. But I just think if the person who's in the car, if they just polite, if you flex on a cop, what cop's not going to flex on you back?
Yeah.
They got all the power, so why you flexing
I've been pulled over when I was in the military. They let me go because I was in uniform. And I've been pulled over by cops for speeding, and I just was nice and cordial with them, and they let me go, just give me a warning. I don't understand this whole this perspective from black people that they're scared of the police. That's all a lie, and they're lying to every black
If
person
you're
in
scared
the
of the
country.
police, why are you flexing on them?
Yeah, Tariq, yeah, exactly. If you
It's all
scared of
bullshit.
the police,
That's
why
what
you-
I'm talking about. Black culture. It's so detrimental to them and all of society for that point.
Then, okay, how do you fix that? How do you fix that detrimental and degradation of black culture? What do you guys think?
Well, Democrats indoctrinate the black people to think and behave in a certain way. They teach them to be to victimize themselves.
But isn't
think
that
that they're
kind
less
of
than.
a cop out to say that the government is indoctrinating at the same time? That's also saying we want the government to help it and fix it.
I think
Do you think that's a cop out?
A little
Black
bit.
people. What do you think's the root cause of that?
I think it's big government.
Yeah, I think
black
it's thinking
people
that
are-
the government can affect change, or thinking that the government can indoctrinate, and also thinking that the government can fix. I think the reality is that we need to realize that the government can help or hurt us, that they're supposed to be there just to manage and oversee basic things, and stop letting them meddle in our lives.
Right.
I think it's a family thing. I think we need to get back
family.
into family structure.
I think it's like when kids go to high school nowadays, the majority of classes we're taking is just stupid. I think one class a person should take, every race, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, or whatever, but you should, the importance of family, single mothers, how detriment that could be to society, the importance of having a father in the home. Everybody should take courses in this because people are so naive to this issue, and then when you try to bring it up, people try to say, oh, you're doing this in bad faith because you hate black people. No, that's the main cause to why black people are failing in this country. They are dead last. They always say there's a wage gap between black and white, but they fail to say there's a wage gap between black and everybody else. We're like dead last. Even black people earn less than immigrants to come in this country, you know? And it's just like the Democrats don't tell people that because they want them to be dependent on the government.
Yeah, I mean,
Welfare families.
The way the current system is that the federal government has the most power and the household has the least power. Actually, it has to be complete opposite.
Right.
The household has to have the most power. It has to be the most important thing. It has to dictate everything about your life. And the federal government should have the least amount of power.
Right.
And we're just completely upside down. I think we just have to flip that back.
Right.
And really focus on families, on how you're treating your
How do
family.
you flip that back though, especially in the black community? When everything's the black community is set up to fail. It's in our music, it's in the Democrats' politics, it's in our TV shows,
It's in our churches.
and like the
Yes.
black community does not point out his behavior that instigated the entire situation. Of course, the cops are out of line, but you're flexing on the cops. When two egos come together, who's going to win? Whoever has the most power. His behavior that day comes from the system that's making black people think and victimize themselves.
Yeah. And then on the other side, Tyreek Hill, he did an interview talking about, I want that cop gone. I want him fired. It's like, oh my God, this dude's a Cuban American. Dude sounds like an immigrant from his accent. He came here from a communist country. He's probably got kids. He's probably got a wife. Black people are so narcissistic. Nah, he needs to go.
He's putting his life on the line each and every day.
While he go
put on a uniform.
plays football and earns millions of dollars. Like there's a narcissism in black men it makes me sick to my stomach. And Tyreek Hill is the textbook definition of that. I saw the interview. I was so pissed. He didn't take any responsibility for that whole incident.
I mean, I think you said it, is that they're getting it from the music, they're getting it from the TV shows, they're getting it from the culture. And the reality is that there has to be a movement to just turn that stuff off.
Right.
They would stop making that content if people stopped consuming that content.
They love it, though. So, they're fucked.
Next topic.
Hey, like I said, your podcast's blown up. You interviewed Andrew Tate. How did that go?
That went well, sketchy.
Yeah.
Because I went to Romania for it. Yeah. And going to Romania,
I was supposed to go out there, too.
It's wild.
I'm scared I'm going to get arrested.
Dude, when I went out there, number one, I brought 4 hard drives.
Okay.
I had one friend that went with me. I took
you
one
went
hard
that to him?
Yeah, I went out to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he can't leave the country.
Oh.
So I brought 4 hard drives. I put one in my pocket. I put one in my friend's pocket. I put one in the luggage, and I mailed one.
Oh, okay.
Because you never know. You got to be careful.
They might seize your stuff.
And even when I was there, I'm at a restaurant, and like these random cops are walking by, and they look like cops. They look like undercover cops, and they're just walking by and back and forth, and looking at me and looking at me. I'm looking at me like, all right, this don't feel good.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because I'm in Romania.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in trouble in
Who's
Romania.
this Asian guy?
Like this random Asian guy in the middle of Romania.
Right.
I stick out like a sore thumb.
Right.
Right. Everyone that entire hotel knows I'm there to see Andrew Tate.
Right.
There's no other explanation of why
That's
I'm
probably
there.
why those cops are there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then my server just disappears. He disappeared for an hour.
Really?
And I asked another server, like, where'd our server go? Like, it's been a while since I've seen him. And he's like, oh, yeah, I saw him outside talking to the cops. I'm like, what? The server eventually comes back. And I said, hey, everything okay?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, it's just busy on the other side of the hotel. I'm like, bro, this is so sketchy.
Why you lied to me? They
This
told
is
me you
so
talked to the
sketchy.
cops.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man. But Andrew was cool, like super professional, so good at what he does. I think he's the best podcast interviewee in the world.
Yeah. I didn't know he was black. His father's black.
He looks black.
Yeah. I didn't think, when I look at him, I don't see a black man.
Yeah.
When I think of black, I think of Samuel L. Jackson or Denzel Washington. Someone's dark skin.
To me, he looks like Puerto Rican, Latino.
Yeah.
Got some Arab in him.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
He's like, to me, he's racially ambiguous.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Like, not all black people look like us. Like, some people think I'm Puerto Rican. So I'm so good looking.
Everybody at the airport think I'm a terrorist, though, but. So you had Tucker Carlson on, too.
Yes. That was pretty cool, too.
Yeah.
And the coolest part about all of it is that, I haven't been doing this very long. And everyone that I got to interview that I would consider, like, people would recognize, they've all started following me first. And then we get an opportunity to connect. Like, holy shit, like Tucker Carlson's team just started following me. Like, I need to go talk to them right now.
Right.
So that's the coolest part of it all, is that it just naturally happened. Everything has been completely organic. And super grateful for that opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to build an audience is organically. If you're paying for views and getting people to watch it that way, it's not organic. The way you're building it now is like perfect.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, I used to watch you guys when you guys were doing fitness content.
Yeah,
everybody says that. Yeah, everybody says that. You I used to watch you guys doing fitness videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like you guys and bro science. That was the era.
Yeah, right. That was the best time on YouTube.
That was the best time. You could do anything.
Right.
And nobody cared.
I know you could curse. They all.
Yeah.
Hey, where can people find you?
If you want to find someone on the internet these days, you can find them. Whatever your preferred doom scroll device is, if you just search Matt Kim, I'm sure I'll pop up.
Matt Kim.
Yeah.
Matt Kim. He made that easy. Hey, man.
Asian people make everything easy.
Thank you for coming,
Hey,
bro.
thank you, man.
Thank you. Yeah.